Alice Cooper. I'm 18. All right, let's jam through all these sections here, and at the end of it all, I'll go through each one with some details for you. So kicking off with the intro here, it's going to start with essentially what is the chorus pattern also. It's this initial riff where we're going to be at a E minor, but we only really need to be like, like an E5. We're doing like the open E, second on the A, and second on the D. And you just want to hit that twice, like right on beat. Just okay. And now we're going to do a quick kind of 1, 2, 3 opens. Okay, and then scale up a bit. We're going to go to 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and then hit an open A. Okay, so it's like. Alright, so that first measure. Alright, and now we switch to a C chord. And we're just going to pick through it, the A, D, G string. So it'd be 3rd fret, A, 2nd fret, D, open G. Alright, and now we switch to a D chord. Hit the open D, 2nd on the G, 3 on the D, B string here. Just pick through that also. Okay. Alright, so that's kind of like, those two measures are basically like the chorus riff, you would say. Alright, so just try that first couple measures together here. And in the intro here, we're just going to go through it about 2 times. Okay, so something like that. So we'll go through that twice, and then we get to the second section, which is also kind of like the ending of the chorus. Alright, and it's just going to be broken up into 4 measures here where we're going to change chords each one. It's just going to be like a progressive scaling up. All right, so we'll start with like an A5 here. So open A, 2nd on the D, 2nd on the G, and just hit it twice for the measure. Just okay. And then basically just bring that up 2 frets for the B. Hit that twice. Okay. Bring that up 1 fret for the C. Okay. And then bring it up 2 frets for the D. Okay, so we went open A, 2nd, 3, 5. All right, and while that progression is happening, there's like a harmonica going on, and I think there's some guitar kind of mixed in with it too. But basically, it's just, this would be like a second guitar, and it's just kind of bending on the 15 of the B. Okay, just about 4 times, I would say. It's like. Okay, something like that. So if you want to throw that little touch in there too, you can. All right, so now let's try the whole thing together. All right, and the third part of the intro, it's this second guitar that comes in, and while one guitar is just playing that first intro riff or chorus riff, the E minor to C to D, this just comes in and does a little, E minor pentatonic scaling. And any solo you hear in this song, it's all just kind of based around E minor pentatonic scaling. So if you know that scale, you can just jam around in that at your leisure. Or you can try to follow, what exactly is happening in the song, which is something like this. Okay, so we're going to be up here, 12th fret. We're going to go 12 on the E to 15, and then just literally go right through that pentatonic scale. So 12 to 15 on the E, 12, 14 A, 12, 14 D, 12, 14 G. Okay, and get to that 14, we're going to bend it a couple times. Okay, and that'll end that first measure. And then getting into the second measure, we're going to bend that 14 2 more times. All right, and on that second time, we're going to release it, come off to 12G, hold that a second, and then go to 14 on the D. And right when we hit that 14 on the D, that'll get into the verse. Okay, so just try the scale all together slowly here. All right, and then just get it up to tempo. All right, now the verse starts, and this is essentially we're still sticking with that E minor, C to D progression, but we're just kind of picking through it a little differently, especially the E minor part. Here, we're going to kind of add like a 7th for the chord, so it's almost like, like we're hitting a E7, but more or less you just want to worry about this little scale that happens where it's, and this is actually kind of more of a like a organ or something going on, or like a Leslie or something like that with that effect on a guitar. But anyway, it's something like this where you do an open high E to 3B to open B to open G. Okay, this would be like. Alright, so something like that for the first measure. The second measure, kind of just pick through the C and the D like we normally do. Okay, but here you can add a little more where we're going to hit that 3 on the A again, then pick through the D. Alright, and get to that 3 on the B, and then just hit an open B. Because that'll help us get loop back into our E minor section. Okay, so it'd be something like this, those first 2 measures. Try it slowly. Alright, so go through that a couple times, and then we'll get to basically just picking through the C for a whole measure. You want to go like all the way down through it, and then come up and then go between the B string, G string, B string. So it'd be 1 on the B, open G, 1 B. So it'd be something like this, where we pick all the way down through the C chord, and then go B, G, B string. Okay. Now we get to the D chord, full measures worth of a D chord. Pick all the way down through the D chord. But here we kind of add that suspended fourth with the 3rd fret on the E. And then we just come back to the 2nd E, then open, and then hit a 3 on the B. All right, and then after we get through those, we would just go through those first 2 measures again, that E minor, C, D. Okay, Okay, just go through that one more time, and then we would get into the chorus. Okay, so now we could just try this whole verse progression in its entirety. All right, and the chorus, like I said earlier, it's basically the same as that initial intro section. Okay, we go through that 3 times in the chorus, then we do our A to B, C to D. Okay, so just put that together. Alright, and after the chorus, we'll get another lead section that comes in. And most of these lead sections, they just love like bending on this 14 of the G here. So as long as you get some good 14 on the G bends in there, and just, you could fake it pretty easy. Be something like this, where we're going to bend that 14, hold it for a moment, bend it again, release it, come off to 12G. Okay, and essentially just do that twice, 2 measures worth. And then hit 14D, and that'll be right into our next verse. Okay, and then of course there'll be a chorus after that. Okay, so after we've gone through the verse and the chorus again, now we get to like the straight up solo section. And like I said, just wailing away on some 14s. But here we can add a 12 on the B with it, just to give it a little more oomph, I guess. So just hit, bend the 14G while fretting the 12 on the B. Okay, get that cool unison bend. All right, now we're going to bend 14 3 times. Okay, release it, come off to 12. Okay, now we do 14, 12, 14, D, 12G, 14D. Okay, and now we do 12G, and now we're going to pull off 14 to 12 3 times. Okay, now to get us through about the first half of this. All right, last half of the solo. Get in one more of those 14 to 12 pull-offs. Okay, now we do a bend on 14 of the G, and then we're going to hit 12 on the E. Okay, do that twice. All right, now we switch to bending the 15 on the B with that 12 on the E. Okay, do a couple of those. Come down, bend the 15 on the E. All right, now we hit like a scale up where we're going to do 15 to 12 E, 15, 12 B, and then go 14 on the G here, and then bend that 14 on the G. This would be like, and just hold that bend. All right, so now we can put this all together. All right, and during the last verse, there's some little lead sections that kind of just pop in there. So we could try those real quick. Pretty similar stuff. We're just bending that 14 on the G, do a 14 to 12 G, and then a 14 D. So it'd be like, all right, and then just, you know, wait a couple measures and then just toss in another 14 bend on the G. Okay, so pretty similar things. Okay, and once the last chorus kicks in, there's some more lead stuff that comes in over the top of it. For this, we're going to do some bends on the 15 of the B while fretting 12 on the E. Just do a couple of those. Okay. And then another little lead section comes in where we're going to essentially come off those last bends we did and just release that 15. Then go to 12 B. Pull off from 14 to 12 G. Alright, and now we're going to bend that 14 G, and we're just going to do this continuous bend release thing. Alright, for, you know, about 4 or 5 times, just like. Okay, bend that 14 again. One more time. Come off to 12. Go 14, 12, 14, D. Alright, so just try this all together now. Alright, and at the very end we get this kind of big dynamic chord flourish thing that happens where we just hit a C straight up for a couple beats, you know. Okay, then a D. And then just finish, hit a E minor. Thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Like it, share it, leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. Do me a favor and hit the subscription button. I put out a video pretty frequent, so you don't want to miss out on that. Check out the links in the description box below. I have really cool links for tablature books, all the gear I use, t-shirts, fun stuff like that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.